Bonjour tout le monde! Today we're going to be talking about direct objects, and you're going to need these notes in order to understand what's going on next class. So to begin with, what is a direct object? A direct object is the word that receives the action of the verb in a sentence. It answers the question what or who is receiving the action. For example, I throw the ball. I throw what? The answer to that is the ball, which is the direct object of the sentence. It is what is being thrown. In the second example, she hits her sister. In this case, we're going to ask, whom does she hit? And the answer is her sister, so that is a direct object. She is the one who is receiving the action. She is the one who is being hit. And finally, we buy the gift. We buy what? We buy the gift. And so that is the direct object. It is what's being bought. Now, direct objects, as with all other nouns, can be replaced by a pronoun, and this is done to avoid repetition in a sentence. So, for example, in English you can say, I buy a cake and I eat the cake, but it sounds a little bit silly to say that. It sounds a lot better and a little more fluent if you say, I buy a cake and I eat it. In this case, it is the direct object pronoun that is replacing the cake, which is what is being eaten in the sentence before that. In French, you can do the same thing, and you use these direct object pronouns to replace the direct objects. For me, it's me. For you, singular and informal, it's te. If you want to say him or it in the masculine form, it's le. And her or it in the feminine form is la. To replace us, you're going to use nous. To replace you, formal or plural, you're going to use vous. And to replace them, you're going to use les. In the present tense of French, and we're only talking about the present tense right now, later on we'll talk about the near future as well as the past tense, but for now, the present tense, they are going to go right before the verb, which is different from in English. So for example, in English, we would say she gives it to her mother, and in parentheses I said that it, in this case, is the gift. So in English, it goes right after the verb. She gives it to her mother. In French, it is actually going to go right before the verb instead.